Hello, everybody. Welcome to the King of Anime podcast, the show in which we watch things that we want to watch, and each episode we give shows a rating, a kill or a pass. Pretty simple. We may have one of those this episode, and I guess we should just, go ahead and get right into it. But before that, who are you co-hosts?
It is I, Everything Animated. I am here to tell you all that I used to know George Washington Carver, and I spent the summer vacation bioengineering a peanut.
Ain't the first time, won't be the last.
Nope, it sure isn't.
I haven't done anything that interesting. I'm just drinking. I'm the drunk podcast. But yeah, Satsuki here.
Are we gonna see drunk Satsuki here later in the show?
This tequila is pretty damn nasty. So I may just pour.
What'd you get? Like what brand? What is it?
What is this shit?
It's just gasoline.
Yeah, call it that. I don't even have the bottle in front of me.
Oh man, I was gonna say you probably got the disgusting Vivid Cuervo or something.
It has a sombrero cap on it.
So that means it's authentic.
Yeah.
Speaking of authentic, Tower of God, episode 7, is not very authentic to the show. I'm just gonna let Satsuki talk about it.
All right, so whew.
Also, hello everybody in the chat.
Yes, hello people. I'm gonna say, because this issue happened with the Promised Neverland, I want to preface what I'm saying by first saying, just because an anime adaptation isn't faithful to whatever source material doesn't mean it's inherently bad. So what I'm saying comes from the bias of a person who's read the webtoon. So I can't really give you I've tried to be a little objective about it, but I can't really give you a perspective of a person who's going into this new. So I want to say I don't think the anime is bad, even with knowing some of the stuff they're cutting out and whatnot. But from my perspective, knowing what I know, what they're skipping over, what they're omitting, what they're rearranging, this anime is looking like a mess and they're rushing it to hell. There's certain things that are happening. Like okay, how do you guys feel about Endorsi breaking her heel again?
Stupid as hell.
I don't really like. I don't really know. I didn't really consider it a big thing. I was like, well, she just broke her heel, I guess.
I freaking noticed it because she did that already, and I swear they used the exact same animation for it, both the snapping and the falling and the and the what's going on, and I'm just like, did she not learn her lessons? Switch to track shoes, for the love of God. It's that. I mean, that's just one thing that annoyed me, but continue.
Yeah. The reason why I brought up that moment is because what EA said, because we've seen it before in their fight with Hoarium. So you would think that after a fight like that, she wouldn't, make a mistake like that, considering she's fighting people that are moving fast as hell. It's probably not the best choice to fight in heels, but the whole heel breaking thing did not happen in the webtoon at all. That's the reason why I brought it up. And that's one of the things I see is being added in the show. Things are being changed that I don't understand why. And it seems like a nitpicky thing, but it's not only things like that. That's just an example. It's just a combination of a lot of stuff. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of dialogue that is being cut out, and it's coming at the expense of these characters having their moments and their shine. Another moment that didn't happen with the anime or with the webtoon. Do you guys remember the note that the guy had? His name is Ho. So yeah, that's not I'm not using an insult. His name is Ho.
The one where the note said, "Do you want to make it to the top of the tower?"
Yes. In a webtoon, we see what was written there. I have no idea why they didn't show us what was on there.
What did it say?
It said something. It basically detailed like a plan of what was supposed to happen, because there's going to be something that note is going to have significance later. But they made it a mystery for some reason in the anime, and I don't know why. Because it wasn't a mystery in a webtoon. So, yeah, I'm not going to keep, drilling into it, drilling you people with the information. You got to read the webtoon. You should read the webtoon, because I don't know what the anime is doing. But again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I personally can't enjoy it for what it is because of the information I already have. So that's my thoughts on Tower God.
I feel like this is like an Inuyashiki situation, where like I'm gonna like within Inuyashiki I loved it. Satsuki didn't like it. EA thought it was pretty good. I feel like we're running into one of those situations, but like on a different. It's not very positive. I'll probably be the most positive person for it. Started reading the webtoon, just because of seeing all the things that are missed. There was a scene in the last episode that I don't know why they didn't do this, but Bam knows it's Michelle Light is Rachel. So in the anime, didn't happen. But I read pretty much a little bit less, but pretty much what was in this episode in the webtoons. And man, there's just a lot that just ain't here.
Yeah.
And as a person who's kind of, even though I've started to read the webtoon because of this, I'm still fairly, I would say, in the middle of it all. I'd say to someone who isn't a reader of the webtoon and they're watching this, they're probably not going to think this anime is going to live up to a lot of the air quotes hype that a lot of people have discussed or have had when talking about this series. And that's because I'm like experiencing that firsthand. Hearing about Tower of God and it getting an adaptation, I was very excited because I will read a lot of webtoons when I can. And one of the webtoons that everybody talks about is like Tower of God. And this anime makes it seem like it's mediocre and at times pretty good, but never anything like it hasn't ever reached the point of what I think people have described this series as. But I will say it's a fun anime. Like, I liked this episode for what it was worth. It was entertaining at the very least. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time watching this. I didn't feel like I was robbed of my time or anything. I actually really do like all these characters. I like the stuff with Enoch. And Dorsey's pretty interesting. It's just not as good as a lot of people have said it is, or it would be. And even reading the webtoon, like, I'm just not invested in it right now as I should be. This is episode 7, and I feel like we're not getting the full picture here. And I was kind of feeling that way at about episode 5 or 6, where I was kind of like, well, I mean, it's fine, but it's not. There's not crescendoing. It just keeps going at this one monotone, like, I don't want to say pace, but like feeling. Like it just feels like just an incomplete adaptation that doesn't do much. But that's my thoughts. EA, I'm sure you have stuff to say about this.
Boy, do I ever. First and foremost, the best part of this whole episode was Rock sitting in the background like a pimp going, you stupid turtles!
I love that when he was just laughing at everybody.
Yeah, funny. Because they all had to do the next test, and he's just sitting back with that other dude that I guess is his rival now, and he just chilling, just, hey, you poor saps, all I have to do is sit back and eat my chocolate bars. They need a bit focus this whole show around Rock, and I would love it 10 times more. I feel like I kind of understand what you're saying, see, about the whole how you were kind of describing Inuyashiki. I feel like Inuyashiki was more of a faithful adaptation, though, even though it was sped up. I remember reading the manga before I even like watched the anime, and I thought it was really, really like faithful up until look, here comes a comet.
Let me clarify that a little bit. I don't mean necessarily like comparing Tower of God to Inuyashiki, but comparing how we felt to Inuyashiki, the same kind of feelings we have towards Inuyashiki we have towards Tower of God, I bet, where we are all have different sort of varying opinions on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I'm to the point where I don't know what's going on in the show anymore. It's I've been like that for a while, but I think we've gone like 2 episodes now where we're not even really doing any tests right now. I mean, now at the end of this one, we're starting to do tests, but I'm to the point where who's this new guy with the orange hair and the tan? I don't know who this guy is, and I personally don't care really. I feel like it's kind of ran its course with me. Everything, and I don't know if that's like by design, and this is coming from somebody who hasn't read the webtoon, and maybe if I actually read the webtoon, I would enjoy it, and I would have a different opinion about it and whatnot, but as of right now, just watching the anime, I guess I'm bored with it. I'm not, this isn't, kind of like what you said already, see, is like this is not living up to the hype whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it's not. In a sense of certain aspects, like the art is a lot better than the webtoon, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Like it's been pretty fairly consistent.
The animation looks nice. I'll give it that.
The studio has done well. The score for this is probably one of the best scores of the whole season. It's just so distinct. I've never heard anything like it in anime. It's fantastic. So I guess this is like a production aside thing. You know, the story just not gripping me. It's the characters are pretty fun. I like the characters. Yeah. Like I want to really I want to go further into the story, but the anime isn't allow me to like immerse myself in anything because it doesn't even feel like we're moving at a fast pace. It just doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like a complete package right now. It just feels like a bunch of ideas and things thrown into it. It's very sloppy. It reminds me of Blade of the Immortal's very first adaptation and its most recent adaptation. Very sloppily put together, completely rushed. But I do think Tower of God is a way better anime than either of those two. Way better.
Listen, Blade of the Immortal, without having read the manga, my God, I watched those first 3 episodes, and it's bad because I knew things were being heavily rushed without reading the manga. And if I don't even have the experience of the source material, and I know for sure things are just not being properly explained, there's a big issue. Like Blade of the Immortal was bad. At least this is like serviceable. I can see how this appeals to people who haven't read the webtoon, but for me, it does not work. They're changing, like I already said, they're changing like certain character moments, and like when we got Anat's backstory, for example, we're seeing like how her mother was the princess of Jihad and whatnot, and she's having this talk with Endorsi, and Endorsi asks her a question. She says, "Do you think your mom regret doing what she did?" And in the anime, Anat
what did she do?
She had a kid.
Yeah, she had a kid.
Is that what they were talking about? Because I was literally like, what did she regret? Dying in a fire?
The princesses are not supposed to fall in love or have children.
Okay.
or have sex.
God damn. That's a bummer.
Yeah. But yeah, she asked her, does she regret what she did? And in the anime, Anak says probably not, which makes it seems like it makes it seem like her death was more.
Random.
It had like a it's trending upwards. It's like a positive thing. Like she did what she did, but she did it for a knock, and it feels like a fairy tale ending. Of course, she died, so it's not like a fairy tale. But in a webtoon, a knock says maybe. So that makes the whole premise of that sacrifice of her mother seem a lot more grim. And when you're changing tone, tone aspects of the series like that,
Cringing so hard.
I don't understand. Like those are moments I don't understand. You're not saving time. You're not cutting things out for the sake of something else. You're just completely changing things for what exactly? Because it's a simple line, but you changing that line gives it a whole different meaning. It's a lot of significance behind that line. So those are things I don't understand why it's being altered.
And the
I don't know.
subtlety of it is taken away.
It's right. And I don't understand why there's not just anime, but just like shows, movies in general, that if they adapt something from like a comic book or, okay, that's not a good example. Say like a book. A good example, Ready Player One. That's an amazing book. If anyone's ever read it, you know what I'm talking about.
I own a copy of it.
The movie is absolute garbage. They took everything that was from that book and they, it's a shell of itself, but then they took characters and they took traits from those characters and gave them to other people.
I hate that.
Because we can't have this main guy be this really smart and cool guy. No, we have to give it to this person, even though she was an introvert. But now she is a freedom fighter all of a sudden, which that never happened. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent about Ready Player One, but that to me is what I can't stand about. It's like you have the source material, it's right there in front of you. You can make something out of it, and then you go ahead and you just ruin it like that. I can't stand studios that do that.
This to me doesn't feel like it feels to me like they were contracted to do this certain thing, and whoever was in charge of getting the script together probably read this, probably wasn't a big fan, and just wanted to give this something that anime fans can relate to. I read an interview from the director himself, and that seems what it came off as. He said he had to change things for an anime audience, and he was of course not talking about changing major plot elements. He's just talking about things like, oh, we got to change the art here to make it more anime. That's what he was talking about. But it's still, the whole interview just came off as someone who was he's just doing his job, and he's contracted to do 13 episodes, and he's doing the best he can. But the more we talk about this, the more bummed out I am, because I actually really like Tower of God, and I will probably read the webtoon, and that just makes me think, at the end of the day, they were probably like, well, damn, we're not going to be able to do this story justice, so we're probably just going to make it an advertisement, essentially.
Yeah.
And that seems what they did here.
And I know what moment they're working towards, and it's just it was too much to adapt to get to this point. Because like with this episode, they adapted about 5, maybe 6 chapters. It's too much. You can't do it. And if you do it, you're going to have to forsake a lot of the character moments. And this series is dense. It's dense as hell. The fact that EA is confused with this, I'm not surprised, because it was confusing for me as well, just reading it. So if it's that dense, you can't just speed through it and expect everything to work out. You have to take things slow. You have to explain this world, because there's a lot to explain I can't even go over because it's just too much. But yeah. I don't know what they were thinking.
It's almost like they feel like you should read the webtoon first before watching the show. And to me, if you have to have somebody read the book before you actually watch something, then it's not worth watching. Lord of the Rings is a perfect example. You don't need to read the book, and you know those those movies are fantastic. I'm sorry, those are great, but I don't. It's it's mind numbing.
You know, the more we discuss this, I was like, we're probably not going to kill any shows this season, but that may change. So I gotta ask, what are we giving Tower of God?
Oh, you asking me?
I'm just asking everybody at this point.
I give it one too many chances. We're killing it.
Yeah.
Husky.
I've been trying to be really. I try to be understanding of it, but I think it's just doing it's changing too many things to make me satisfied. It may be unfair because I'm always an advocate of series like this where things are being rearranged, changed. It may not be faithful, but as long as I could judge it as its own entity, it's fine. But I can't do it. I'm sorry. I gotta kill it.
Oh Lord. Oh well. I guess for me, you know, I'm not. I like so many things about this show, and I'm not saying webtoon, not saying series. I like so many things about this anime that we've watched every week for almost 2 months. I like pretty much all the characters. I even like Bam, even though it's some brain-headed, not very smart decisions were made with this guy's character. I like his little bandana. It's pretty cool looking on him. I like Dorsey, like Anak, like Rock. He's the devourer of candy bars and a tsundere alligator. He's amazing. Rachel's Rachel. I don't know much about her. She seems pretty cool.
Rachel's
Don't
a
know.
Slob. Somebody posted that on Twitter because there are a lot of Rachel haters, and they were like, oh, what did he say? She was like, look, she doesn't take care of her room. She's a slob. And I was like, me being a Rachel fan, I was like, I would clean for her.
Amazing. There is a lot to hate about this, but it's just a mediocre adaptation right now. At the worst, for me, just mediocre. And you know what? It's not a full pass. It's a half pass. It's a courtesy pass. I'm giving it the courtesy pass, just because it tried. It did.
You should try.
Here's your participation ribbon.
That's literally what I just gave it, a participation pass. Like, it just showed up and it did something. It got me reading Tower of God, so why not? I'll give it a pass. So with that being said, let's move on to Arte, episode 7. What do you guys got to say about Arte?
I like this one a lot better than Tower of God.
It's funny because my anime list hates this show, apparently.
See, I don't know why.
I get it. I'm like, this show's pretty good.
What does my anime list give it?
It's like low 7, 6.
Really?
I'm checking it right now. It's a 7.09.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like at least like a 7.5. You know?
That's anyway. Yeah, this show, this particular episode, we got introduced to what was her name? Anne Hathaway? No,
Ruthana.
Ruthana. I knew it had an Anna in it. But we were introduced to Preggers, and she was she was the daughter of Leo's master. That's who she was to him, right? And
yes,
you can tell like they had that really kind of special bond, and because he literally grabbed her hands like, if you need anything, please ask me, all seductive and whatnot. And we were introduced to her. We got introduced to who I thought was going to be like Leonardo da Vinci, but it was it Yuri? But it's Yuri.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah. Yuri from Venice.
Yuri from Venice. That's such a name.
Yuri from Venice, and he was like, "Hey Leo, come! I want your girl. You know, I want your assistant. I want everything that she has to offer. Give me a year.
Oh God.
6 months tops. And she'll want to marry me." No, I'm kidding. but yeah,
I'm gonna woo her with the powers of me, Yuri from Venice.
But yeah, so we were introduced to what 2, 3, 4 sort of characters and whatnot. But more importantly, we also see how incredibly selfless Arte is whenever it comes to like helping others. She's really a great person.
Yeah. She basically pawned herself in this episode.
Pretty much. I love how he went to, or she went to, what's the prostitute's name?
Veronica.
Veronica. I knew it was something simple for advice, and she's like, "Well, I could pull some strings," and I'm thinking, "Yeah, you're gonna pull something, all right." to get stuff to happen, but she's like, "No, I don't need your help. I just want advice." But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice. More character development.
Yeah, I liked. I loved Ruthana. I thought she was a cool character to have in this, and yet again, this show keeps just introducing characters that just keep the plot moving, going forward, keeps things dynamic and interesting. Even though we are in like the same setting each episode, like the exact same thing, and it's just the characters that are introduced come in and they shake things up a little bit and they add a little bit of intrigue and you learn about their lives. Like Ruthana, she's pregnant, her wife her husband died because of the plague. Man, I'm smart. And
it makes sense. We got Yuri in this episode.
Oh yeah. And she's going around begging for money, and apparently this thing happens quite a bit, and you can really sympathize with Ruthana, and Arte does as well, and she tries her best to help this poor woman who it's kind of sad to see how she's fallen to this level where she has to beg, and she's very, very pregnant, and it's just really sad situation for her. And even still, she says she wants to have this child. She wants to live for this child and go through all of this still. And that just kind of shows like the resolve of Ruthana and how much she wants to be a good person to this child, a good mother. And something I respect quite a bit in terms of storytelling, because they pulled it off really well. And Ruthana herself was a pretty good character. Her story was just really fascinating.
For me, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna add a little quip and say she got freaking knocked out and thrown on her pregnant belly.
Yeah, that made me cringe.
I know. I was like, "Oh no, who's gonna knock this bitch out?"
Arte is gonna come up and give her the death grip.
Randy Orton is gonna do the RKO out of nowhere.
That'd be amazing.
But I think what this episode did for me was give more characterization for Leo.
Yeah.
And it's funny with Leo because like it's funny to see Arte's response to anything concerning us figuring out more about Leo with him having a childhood friend. She's like, Arte's like, you had a friend? And like before it was like, you had a childhood?
Yeah.
Like it's just funny and cute to see how she responds to like seeing Leol in a different light, basically, because she sees him as like this stone cold, stern dude, and she can't get that image out of her head, so she can't see him as anything else. But we got characterization from him because we saw how much he cared for Ruthana, right? Ruthana?
Yes.
Okay. Because he uncharacteristically chased after her and, told her, if you need some help, you can just call me anytime, visit me. That's not something he typically does. He will offer help, but he doesn't express himself in that manner. So we saw how much those two care for each other because of that, because of him acting out of character. And then there was him getting fleshed out as a tutor, a master, because he gave Arte advice where it was kind of like laissez-faire. He was basically telling her, just really follow your heart, do what you want to do. He wasn't trying to influence her opinion as much as I'm pretty sure he wants her to stay. He figured the best course of action was to let her make her own decision. He didn't try to, steer her in any direction. He stayed out of it, and I like that. On Arte's side, we saw her refusal of Yuri. Like, she basically was going to get the job because of the things that were disadvantaged for her gender and her upbringing as a noble. And I like the fact that she turned that down because she said, I want to hone my skills, and I basically don't want this job because of those, because of my upbringing, because of my gender. I want to be a painter based on my own merit. So I like that.
Yeah. I like how she ends up kind of just like compromising at the end. So I do wonder how that story thread is going to carry on into the next episodes. I love Arte's like teal dress that she wears.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The one with the collar. It's just the collar. I like the collar on it. It just looks so elaborate and pretty cool. I don't got anything else.
Arte can dress for sure.
Yes, I think that's maybe just something of the time period as well. URW6 to me, Arte is so refreshing, and that's yeah. It just feels like a refreshing anime that is kind of breaking up the monotony of this season because sadly everything got delayed. And it's just I don't know. It's just super enjoyable. I say it every podcast, god damn it, but Arte is just a really simple show that just kind of knows what it is and doesn't and plays to its strengths and hides its weaknesses.
We also seen that Arte is horrible at negotiating because she resolved to go with Yuri for like 3 months, and then he was like, but I wanted you longer. And then she's like, okay, 6 months. He was like, I don't know, I wanted you for a year. And then she's like, all right, we can extend it. I was like, you're terrible. You're awful at this.
By the time the show's over, she's gonna be 18 years old.
Yeah.
Then we can celebrate that too.
We're gonna have to out of context, I want somebody to clip that moment where that episode was like episode 3 of yesterday, where it's revealed that Haru is 18. I want somebody to clip that and take that out of context. That'd be the funniest shit.
I'm on it.
It was a monumental moment.
It's one of the greatest moments of all time. Someone's gonna clip that and add that part to that.
One of these days, I'm going to make a greatest hits of this thing, and it's going to be me doing the full oil, the bathroom toilet flushing, and she's 18, guys. We did.
Yeah, somebody do that. Best EA moments.
Well, I'm sure you guys got good moments too. Not just me.
Yeah,
I don't want to take all the credit.
Totally fine if you guys want to take clips from this and upload it to your own channel. Do whatever, I don't care. Monetize it. Who gives a shit? Just credit. Just link to the actual podcast. It'll be fine.
And buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. Buy our King of Anime podcast t-shirts at Teespring.
All right, well, tell me what the sales are right now.
One. I bought one t-shirt, and it was like almost 2 weeks ago. And since shipping is delayed, I don't know where it is.
Wait, what?
I don't have it.
Shipping's delayed on your own T-shirt?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one as soon as I get my YouTube check.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And you know
I could
what?
probably give you a discount.
Say fuck it. I'm gonna go to work one day and people are gonna be like, "What is that?" It's like I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll just be sitting there with my arms up, just like, yeah. I'll be like rack.
Yeah, like Rock. You just start calling your coworkers turtles, just randomly.
Turtles, you don't know what this shirt's all about.
And you too can be hip and cool at your place of work if you buy King of Anime podcast t-shirt or not. I don't recommend it, to be honest. I do recommend buying the t-shirt though. So what are we giving episode 7 of Arte?
I have to pass it. It was nice. Nice.
I'm passing it. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Arte and the niece, because the way it was mentioned, the niece seems like she's going to be a problem. So it'll be interesting to see how Arte is going to maneuver through that. Of course, she's Arte, so I have faith in her the same way I have in, Toru bringing love and peace to Fruits Basket. So, yeah.
For me, I'm giving this a pass from hell. So it's like a hardcore pass, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know what that meant.
I don't know. I just say stuff, man. Yeah, Arte's great. I'm probably buying this on Blu-ray when it comes out because Funimation's cheap, and I actually really like. I want to watch this dubbed, and I want to see what the commentary is for. Let's talk about the greatest fucking show of this goddamn year. Yesterday, episode 7.
Can we get an amen to that?
Amen.
I mean, can we just pass this already?
I mean, yeah.
Don't even talk about it.
Oh yeah, no. I'm giving it a pass.
I'm giving it a pass.
I'll pass it as well.
All right. You can find me at Everything Animated.
Oh man, this episode, it's so good. There's so much stuff. This was packed full of just great character stuff. I mean, this episode was kind of more focused on Shinako, and man, Shinako, this is a show about sad people, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a show about people that just can't get over their past, and also Ro, right? Yeah. I was starting to get a little annoyed at the beginning because I'm like, why is he being a little baby? But freaking Ryoko beat me to it.
Listen, I literally wrote down, Ro wants to be a man, but acts like a big baby.
Thank you, because that's exactly what happened. But Ryoko called it out. He was just like, because when he was talking to Shinako, saying, yeah, he's just a little bitch. You just got to dump him.
Wait a minute. That's not what happened at all.
And then she's like, you know what? That's right. You want to come in? He's like, hell yeah, I want to come in.
You want to smash?
I still want to smash. I want to smash all of that.
I like how...
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I like how Shinako is like, I kind of wish you were a little bit more pushy. And he's like, "What? What? That's it?"
Yeah.
And then she was the pushy one.
Yeah. It's that scene. I love that scene. So good. But Saucy, you sound like you wanted to say something.
Okay, so with this episode, it's weird too because this is it may be like the third episode we didn't focus on Haru, and she seems like the main appeal of the series to me because I'm pretty sure if you ask most people, I think most people would say like Haru is their favorite character. But with this episode, I think what we did with Ro was we seen him struggle to try to grow up fast because he wants to pursue this relationship with Shinako. And of course, Shinako's like, no, I think of you as a childhood friend. Or not a child. No, she thinks of him as like a little brother, basically. And then there's the problem of them being student and teacher, and this is a domestic girlfriend, so that's not happening. So there's issues there, and he's struggling to cope with that. And the problem with Shinako is the same problem that's been plaguing her since like episode 2. Like her trying to get over her love for what the hell was his name?
You.
What, you?
You.
Oh,
no,
you.
You.
Yeah.
You.
You.
Yeah.
No,
She's
no you.
No, you.
No, please. She's struggling to get over her love for him. So and she said in this episode that she's kind of using that as an excuse to reject Rikuyo and Ro. But I think with Ro it's just I can't see it. I just can't. It's too much to overcome with that relationship in particular. And then with Rikuyo, he is, and I started to see a connection with him. His issue is that he hesitates with a lot of things. He's been hesitant in pursuing Shinako as hard as he should have. And then he's also struggling in his career path, going like full throttle with it because he's still kind of holding back on things. He's not trying to go all out. And I think that's really to protect himself. But yeah, I was interested to see where like we're taking all three of those characters. But Haru, she's been taking a back seat.
She has. It makes me so interested. Like when
That
we
girl
finally
can
get
eat.
there, what makes Haru tick? Like what's the story with her?
All I know is the girl can eat. You know,
Sure.
Oh yeah.
She
as little as she is, she's just like, let me get this, and this, and put a cherry on top. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a light soda and a salad. You know,
She was like Big Smoke.
yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Hell,
She
CJ, all I had to do is follow the damn train.
2 number 9s, extra cheese, and a large soda. Yeah, but yeah, she really didn't do much other than eat in this episode. So I really don't, I don't really know much else. I mean, I still like her. I still like all the characters. I mean, everybody's got to have their own episode. This episode was Shinaku's episode, so that was cool.
Yeah, I everything about Shinako in this was just so like when she sees Ro's arm and she gets like that weird deja vu thing and she just can't help herself and she has to leave. Man, that was like some brutal stuff. I can't even imagine how like just seeing that kid and just seeing him, not seeing Ro, seeing you.
That damn arm.
Mm-hmm.
He's going, that Ro meat. Mm.
Whoa.
That row meets.
Yeah.
Row your boat.
No. But I can't even imagine like what it is like to even still be connected to this family, and then on top of that, go through all the things she went through, where she would see you get these shots that he had to get, and she would tried her best to be the strongest she could for him and for herself. You'll get through this and face it directly by literally looking at this really depressing thing happen to him, and knowing it probably won't ever work out. It's just it just sucks. It's a terrible situation. And oh god, when she goes outside and Ro like gives her a hug or whatever it is, like holds on to her.
Mhm.
I was like, dude, you are trying so hard to fill in for your brother, and that is not the answer. The answer is to
Mhm.
be yourself. And
Yeah.
I sadly I don't know if Ro likes Shinako because he actually likes her, or if that's just because he wants to fill in for his brother. We,
Ah,
and I think Ro is a character that right now is one where you obviously notice this guy's flaws. He's super young, he's super naive. He doesn't really know anything about love or even people. And I think when we get farther into this series, I think his character is going to start hitting, and it's going to be amazing to see like how this guy deals with what he deals with and goes through and his thought process and the links he'll go to, because we saw in this episode that he'd this guy would probably jump in front of a moving train to save this girl. Like he is in love with Shinako to like a really really fascinating degree. And I just it's so fascinating. I find Ro somewhat underrated in that sense because he's he's got he's got things he needs to sort out before he even like goes down this route with Shinako. I
first thing,
first of all, he needs to grow up.
yes, I
Like
was about to say that.
he needs
Yeah.
to like literally grow up
Mhm.
because he's young. He
He's like,
doesn't.
"What? You don't think I'm good enough? You don't think I can do this? Huh? I can be anybody I want. Stomp, stomp, stomp."
Yeah. He's literally just he's immature right now, and he. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait till his character starts really like.
First thing he needs to do is take out the paperclip out of his ear, and
Yeah,
I think he'll be
that's
a
so
better
weird.
character.
I think that shows
Like,
his youth because he's doing something stupid like that. Like you don't need to prove to other people that that you're rebellious or artistic by putting that in your ear. That could you could dude that could like cause so many. You can get that thing infected. Like it's like it's just there's no reason. Nobody cares.
yeah,
Yeah, it's also like with Shinako, the issue with her and Ro is that they just don't see eye to eye with their relationship. It's like, Ro wants to be more to her than she will allow, and she just does not see him in that light. She does not see it at all. She even for her, she even sees like she even understands like what Ro feels for her is like love, but she treats it as if it's a phase. She even says in this episode, I think, like he'll come to
So
his senses soon or something like that.
well,
You know,
she even says when she's talking to Rikuo that she thinks what it is he's seeing some illusion that isn't actually nothing, but nothing's actually there.
yeah, they just they don't see the same thing when they look at each other. So, and I don't think that issue will ever disappear just
Yeah.
because of their upbringing. So, I think Ro chasing his relationship is going to be fruitless. So, that's where the coming of age aspect comes in with the story. He has to figure out a way to overcome that. What can he learn from this relationship, quote unquote? Um, but yeah, that's what I took from it.
Yeah. Oh god. Well, we also got some really cool stuff with Rikuo where he's just chatting with his mates, and he's talking about his woes, and his friend says, "Hey, maybe get more accomplished in your job, and you can get like, you know, um, you can get more confident." And
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool, something pretty cool to notice. Like, yeah, like when it like we're starting to see this thing sort of develop with him, where we saw it in the first or second episode. I think it was the first, where he kind of doesn't really care about getting a job, but now we're starting to see that come back into play with his character, and it's coming back into play in a very realistic and pretty cool way, where it's like, if you're more confident in your job, you're more confident as a person because you're more successful, and that brings more confidence. So I really like that.
He's discovering himself. He's
Right.
starting to see like he's actually passionate about photography, whereas before he treated it as just like a side hustle almost. And then it became like a secondary job, and now it's becoming a career because he even said himself he's when his friend asked him like, maybe you should quit your job at a convenience store, he said maybe. Before, I don't think he would have ever thought about that, but now he's chasing his career as a photographer uh, as a actual plausible thing. So I think as he starts to do that more, he starts to get more gigs. He starts to learn more. Gets his own camera. That's going to be his career, and he's going to be happy doing that.
Gonna be taking pics and rows. Gonna be, oh, got my thing in my ear. Shinako, pay attention to me. Rikuo, he's got this shit figured out.
Yeah, you can have Haru as the model.
Yeah, perfect. The A dead?
No, I'm just I got ripped off, but
Okay.
no, not from the show, but something else entirely. But I'm sorry. No, it was a great show. 10 out of 10.
I like one of the comments. I think it was Haru was like, "I'm sure Rikuo can find joy in any job." Maybe was that right?
He
that
said
to
that
Haru?
to Haru.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah.
Haru can find joy because she's all about eating and just being happy. And
And,
she said, "I'm invincible."
and taming the crows. She's crow
She's
lady.
gonna. I'm telling you, one of these days she's gonna be like Pigeon Man from Hey Arnold, but it's gonna be like with crows, and she's gonna be flying. The show would officially have jumped the shark if it does that.
Oh, God, what else is there to talk about in this? This is just a great episode. This is awesome.
We learn more about the characters, and we see them progress as people with every episode. And it's weird because I feel like we're getting to a point where, not with everybody, but with Rikuyo in particular, I feel like he is getting to a point where he's going to be like a final product of himself. Because with him chasing his career, the only thing really wrong with him is that, he has no passion, and he just got rejected by the love of his life. But things are changing.
Let me say a famous quote that is going to equate to what's going on with Rico right now. You will lose a lot of women. Sorry, you will lose a lot of money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money.
Deep.
Deepest. That is.
And see, he got more inspired with his job. He started taking pictures, and all of a sudden, he's getting invited upstairs. It's like, it's already working. Yeah.
He's already getting some attention, yeah, from Shinako. Which
funny how that works. They don't like you whenever you're a broke homeless person, but the second you make something of yourself. Hi, you remember when I said that I didn't want to be friends? I want to be friends.
I think that goes for both genders, not just women.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it goes both ways. Sure, I'm not trying to say it. I'm just putting it in the perspective, I guess, of anybody.
Because
You
I
know.
mean, look at Satsuki.
Look at me.
It's suddenly, I got the money, and Satsuki's like, "Yo, can I come over? See?"
We're supposed to tell him that.
Well, I would say I never got no invite. Y'all in the thousands, and I'm just over here in the almost 300s.
So well that's when you get like 1 million, we're gonna be like, "Hey, can we come over, EA?"
Oh my god! Yeah, whenever I get a lot of subscribers, I'm gonna get people commenting me that I've never heard from in a while, and be like, "Who are you?" I'm sorry. Is this who's that one that we were trying to get on podcast?
Arcada.
Is this Arcada? Oh, now you want to talk to me now that I'm. Oh well, I don't want to do the podcast with you now.
Arcada's gonna remember this. What if Arcada's watching the show weekly? We don't know.
I mean, there's 6 people watching. If Arcada, if you're one of the 6, please type in the chat. This is Arcada.
QRW6. It's your time. So yeah, since I guess we all gave this a pass. EA, where can they find you?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me pretty much here at everythinganimated.com. YouTube/animated. You can just type in animated. Oh my god. Take 2. You can find me at Everything Animated. The just search for it, you'll find it. I'm sure the link will be in this description. I'm working on a project. I've been teasing it. I'm chipping away at it little by little. I've got all the clips. I've got all the videos. Now I just need to edit it. I need to put my voice to sound. I guess a little tease for everyone out there that's still listening. The name of my new series is going to be called Why Am I Watching This?
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. Everybody subscribe and ring the bell.
Please.
For me, you can find me, Satsuki the Savage. Twitter, just where you see the Hunter mob, where you see them whoever you see them chasing, that's me. So that's where you can find me on Twitter. As for like plans on YouTube, I plan to make a video on Isabella not very soon. It's a thought right now, and I'm talking about another Yuri series. Not really known, so I won't even say the name. But yeah, those are my plans for YouTube.
Well, on the opposite end of that mob, there is a mob full of weebs dressed as Saber, and they're all praising me right now. For now, that's where you can find me. Because man, I released that 1 and 3 minute video about Fate Route, and people actually seem to like it, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, I this Monday got a ReZero podcast, and then Friday got a video about Elsa. Lots of ReZero recently, but that's just kind of because got a lot of ReZero stuff I got to get out of the way since season 2 got delayed, and all of my plans have been ruined. So, yeah. I guess with that being said, thanks everybody for watching the podcast this week. Buy a King of Anime podcast t-shirt. Then these guys will get part of what I get.
Later.
Can I?